The brutal week continues for Jasmine Crockett. Hey, it's me, Jazzy C. You know you're in the wrong when your actions have convinced the yentas on The View to speak logically. You know you have messed up when the Whoopi cushion turns off the valve and limits your personal supply of the boodle breeze. For months, Jazz Crockett has been talking reckless. For years, woke women have been able to speak recklessly with impunity. You are not allowed to criticize them because they check too many woke boxes. You are not allowed to criticize fake victims belonging to multiple marginalized groups. But now, deacons at Woke United Methodist are finally facing the consequences of their actions. Throughout your day, you make dozens of decisions, and damn near every decision that we make has a consequence. What is that old saying from the dude who created Fig Newtons? For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Mr. Newton might have been known as a baker, but he does not get the credit that he deserves for being a great philosopher. I remember years ago, I was 18 or 19 years old. I was doing things to make money that are legal today, but it wasn't exactly legal back in 2003. One afternoon, I was meeting one of my friends at a gas station. He was going to give me money in exchange for a magic package. When he got into my 99 Ford Explorer, he didn't have exact change, so I went inside the gas station to buy a drink or something and get exact change. As I was standing in the gas station, trying to figure out what I wanted, dude comes running towards me out of breath. "KC, the cops are in the parking lot!" Okay, who cares? Just relax. We'll either wait until they leave or we'll just go somewhere else. No, you don't understand. I freaked out and put the package of magic beanstalks under your tire. I think they saw me. This is a true story. I'm not making this up. Teenagers are unpredictable, especially when they're under the influence of intoxicants that can make you paranoid. Anyway, he is freaking out. He is asking me what we are going to do. We? There is no we. I'm not going to jail. I'm not facing the consequences over your stupidity. What the hell were you thinking? All you had to do was sit inside the car and do nothing. We are two kids at a gas station in the middle of the day on a Tuesday. No one is suspecting a thing until your dumbass gets out of my truck and buries illegal treasure under my tire. Long story short, cops are all over the place when we get back to the parking lot. Now, to his credit, he owned his mistake. He told the cops that everything belonged to him. He told them that I was just giving him a ride. He went to jail and they let me go. One of the very few times in my many interactions with the police as a teenager that they actually let me go. But several months later, I came through for my friend. I paid him back. He was out of town, got busted for underage drinking or something like that. The friends that he was with, they bailed on him. They didn't have the money to get him out of jail, so I drove 2 hours, paid his bond, and got him out. But the point is, even though we were immature in damn near every other aspect, he was mature enough at 18 years old to own his own mistake. He was mature enough to accept the consequences of his unbelievably stupid actions. Unfortunately, I cannot say the same for Jazz Crockett. Yesterday, Jazz was given another opportunity to apologize for violating the woke commandments. Now, she was given another chance to apologize for violating basic human decency. But at 43 years old, Jazz doesn't have the maturity and the decency that my friend had at 18. Good news is, her birthday is tomorrow. Maybe she can ask for the gift of decency for her birthday. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Link to the second channel's in the description below. Today on the second channel, going to be talking about the disastrous opening day yesterday for Major League Baseball. I guess Rob Manfred wasn't expecting millions of people to be interested in watching baseball yesterday. Now, in his defense, it has been years, maybe even decades, since millions of people have been intrigued by Major League Baseball. Good news is, they're intrigued now. Bad news is, Rob Manfred wasn't ready. So, if you haven't already, click the link in the description below, subscribe to the second channel. Yesterday, Jasmine Crockett was riding her broom through the halls of the Capitol building. As she was flying through the hallway well over the speed limit, Jazz was stopped by a correspondent from Fox Business, Hillary Vaughn. My inside sources tell me that Hillary was able to stop Jazz and her broom by putting AOC's potted ficus in the middle of the hallway. Jazz was unable to maneuver around it, so she was forced to speak with Hillary. Fun fact, Hillary was the love interest of Jazz on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. For those that don't know, Jasmine Crockett, she has been viciously attacking Texas Governor Greg Abbott. Unlike Jazz, whose preferred method of transportation is a broom, Governor Abbott's method of transportation is a wheelchair, and I wouldn't say that it's preferred. 40 or so years ago, Governor Abbott, he was jogging and an oak tree fell on top of him. It destroyed his back and he has been paralyzed ever since. Now, even though it is a clear violation of the woke commandments to commit ableism, the wickedness of Jasmine Crockett is limitless. For weeks, she has been making fun of Governor Abbott's method of transportation. Yesterday, Jazz was given another chance to apologize, and once again, she refused. Watch for yourself.
I saw your comment explaining your comment calling Governor Abbott Hot Wheels.
I put out a statement regarding that.
You didn't apologize.
I put out a statement. Why would I apologize when I put out a statement? My statement was clear.
But you didn't
My
apologize
statement was
for calling him Governor Hot Wheels when he gets around in a wheelchair.
I don't know how that's offensive.
I don't understand.
How many disability need me to repeat this to you?
Right, but why won't you apologize?
I put out a statement.
It didn't have an apology in it.
So read my statement.
I did read it. It didn't have an apology.
Okay, well, I'm done with
You
this.
don't feel bad about making fun of someone
I'm done
who
with this.
is in a wheelchair?
Even though I think Jasmine Crockett is deplorable, even though I think Jasmine Crockett is vile, heinous, wicked, detestable, revolting, damn near evil, I do respect the fact that she is refusing to apologize for her actions, and I'll tell you why. I don't like being lied to. If there's one thing I cannot stand, it is an insincere public apology. I can't stand when people succumb to outrage and retract something that they meant to say. If you say what you mean and mean what you say, stand on it. Is it classless to make fun of someone in a wheelchair? Absolutely. But Jasmine Crockett clearly meant what she said. Otherwise, she wouldn't have repeatedly said it. So if you meant it, don't apologize for it. I would much rather Jasmine Crockett show us exactly who she is. That is one thing I never took away from the Wicked Weave Joy Reid. The artist formerly known as Weave, she was not afraid to show her wickedness. I would much rather know who you are than for someone to be like LeBron James, who likes to passive-aggressively throw the rock and then hide his hand. Yesterday morning, the Yentas on The View, they were discussing the vile behavior from Jazz Crockett. Now, I was expecting the Yentas to make excuses for Jazz. I was expecting the whoopee cushion to crank her leg, unleashing intoxicating boodle breeze to the audience of lonely women. That way, everyone would be hypnotized by the fragrance and they would not be able to recognize evil. I was expecting the radiance of my favorite Yenta, Asuncion. I was expecting the radiance of son Hostin to blind lonely women to the blatant wickedness. Hey there, lonely ladies, it's me, Sonny! I know you're upset with my friend Jazz, but anger and bitterness are not appropriate because Jazz is a member of multiple marginalized groups. She's a victim of oppression just like you and me! Much to my surprise, The Yentas were heartbroken over the behavior of Jas Crockett, but that does not mean that they were not willing to forgive her transgressions. That doesn't mean the Yentas were not willing to forgive and forget this ever happened. The Whoopi Cushion and son Hostin, they just want Jas to confess to her sins and everything will be groovy. Watch for yourself.
You just don't mock people with disabilities. I mean, you don't mock people. I was going to say, you just don't mock people at all. And I admire Jasmine Crockett. I do think she's an effective messenger. I think this was a mistake. Yeah. And I think when you make a mistake, you have to own it. Yeah. You have to do that because it gives you a lot more credibility when you do that.
If you want me to take everything you say when he talks about different people, you said, no, I was just joking. Okay. Then let's all do that right now and say, she made a mistake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we're going to move on. We're not censoring people. We're not going to do it. We're going to say to people, just don't do it. Don't make jokes. As Joy says, what is it?
Leave it to the comedian.
What? Excuse me? Did Big Red Joy Behar just say, leave the jokes to the comedians? You mean comedians like Dave Chappelle, who was vilified for having the audacity to make fun of Tran Dan? What about comedians like Joe Rogan? Is he allowed to make jokes? Every time Joe Rogan makes jokes about woke United Methodists, the deacons are faking outrage. Well, Uncle Casey, I think Joy Behar was saying that she was the only comedian allowed to make jokes. Big Red identifies as a comedian? Since when? Joy Behar has been alive for 82 years. I have never laughed with her once. I often laugh at her, but I have never laughed with her. You know, this right here is the Democrats' problem. For starters, if Donald Trump was convicted of ableism, the Yentas on The View would crucify him. With Jas Crockett, she just needs to apologize and everything will be swell. But this is the problem for Democrats. They're a party filled with Jas Crockett's. Jas Crockett is just the latest voice. Before Jas, it was Joy Reid, Tiffany Cross, Jamel Hill, AOC, Omar Elon, Dylan Mulvaney, Leah Thomas, Elizabeth Warren, or as she prefers to be called, Squanto, the Yentas on The View. These are the women who represent the Democratic Party. Most women can't relate to them, and most men would probably swipe left. Could you imagine dating one of the Yentas on The View? Hey, Mom, I brought home a whoopee cushion. Give me your thoughts on this. Jas Crockett refuses to apologize to Governor Greg Abbott. Now, me personally, I respect the fact that she is not willing to apologize because she clearly meant what she said. I would rather someone show me exactly who they are. What about you? Would you rather see Jas Crockett apologize and not mean it? Or are you fine with her not apologizing and proving exactly who she is? Let me know. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys later.